Hello. I hadn't really planned to shoot this yet today. It is Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day. Happy New Comic Book Day to everybody out there. But you won't see this video until tomorrow. Um, I had recently shown a haul video went up today at 11 a.m. and it showed three books that I picked up. Well, it showed a whole bunch of books, but three in particular. Um, well, they're basically the Amazing Heroes. A couple of issues of the Amazing Heroes magazine by Fantagraphics, and I thought, well, I should read them and then sort of review them. But I have, all I've read so far of this one, and it's only going to be about this one. This is, no, this is issue number 101, August 15th. Let's see, what year is this? 1986, maybe? Looks like. Doesn't say the date on here. I don't think I can see it. No. Anyways, I don't want to get too distracted. But as part of that video, I'd also read the back part of here. I know a certain person probably, once he watches that, will be like, hey, that's cool. Now, I've only read the editorial in this so far, but I've been flipping through it, and the editorial for this issue is David Smay. I'm assuming that's the right way to say his last name. But it turns out this is actually his last editorial for Amazing Heroes. He basically leaves the magazine and moves to San Francisco after this. And he talks about his successor, I believe, says, I leave Amazing Heroes in the very capable hands of Mark Waid. It's like Mark has been one of Amazing Heroes' most reliable and best contributors, most recently with his excellent feature review of Alan Moore's Superman stories in issue number 99. So, regardless of what you think of Mark Waid personally, I just found that very interesting. And he's not the only, he's also leaving this issue is the reviewer of the magazine, a man named R.A. Jones. And he's succeeded by Don Tyler, so who becomes the regular reviewer. Now, I'm looking through his, and it's all in black and white. And the thing that I'm finding that's interesting is I've seen people show covers and stuff like that, and so there's like all these cool ads. I mean, you got Johnny Quest #4, and then that iconic piece of artwork, cover art by Tom Yates and Al Williamson. You know, that there's that in there, and then it goes. They have the reviews. There's a review of Judge Dredd #4 from Quality Comics. There's a review of Man of Steel #1, Dark Knight #3. Let's see if I can just read the Man of Steel #1. It says Byrne tries to work that old sales figure magic that worked so well on revitalizing the Hulk and the FF. Judging from this, he's going to be coming up craps. This is what it says. DC can rewrite all the continuity it wants, and it'll still be haunted by the amiable specters of Superboy, Superbaby, Crypto, Supergirl, the Phantom Zone, Earth 2, Kandor, etc. for the rest of its corporate days. There's such a thing as being too successful, and DC has succeeded so thoroughly in pressing the true origin of Superman into America's public consciousness, all attempts at brainwashing will ultimately prove futile. Makes a good imaginary story, though, and that is N.A. Collins, who wrote that review. And I just holy crap, nuts. And he's like, when I said, work dat old magic, it's actually D-A-T, spelled D-A-T, not that, it's dat old magic. I was like, what? So, with a lot of tongue-in-cheek going on in here, and it says at last, and yet it has in this an ad on the next page. It says 3 all-new series beginning next month from DC. At last, the greatest hero in comics, the greatest talents in comics. So, while the reviewer was doing the review, let's see if I can get it. You have those 3 iconic covers. of the all new Superman. Just there's so many weird little things. It says, oh, look in the news line section. It says Charlton returns with all direct line. It's got one of the things that I noticed was it says Blackthorn, 4 new titles and a portfolio. The ever-expanding Blackthorn Publishing unleashes 4 new comics in October. Alien Ducklings, written by Cliff McGilvray and illustrated by Andy Ice, features 4 aliens stranded on Earth who accidentally clone themselves as ducklings. And then there's Revolving Doors, features the adventures of Stephen Jones as he journeys through the revolving door into a magical overland. And then there's Hamster Vice, 3D #1, is just what you think it is, as Dwayne Ferguson's hamsters battle zombie worms. And then there's also The Twisted Tantrums of the Purple Snit Halloween Special #1 is in the revenge-seeking creation of John Stephenson, writer Dennis Francis of Street Wolf, and Michael Kelly. In October, Blackthorn will also be releasing a new portfolio, Strength of Man. The folio, which will sell for $45, will contain 12 plates by Scott Hampton, Mobius, Will Eisner, Steve Hudson, Jeff Jones, Brian Murray, George Pratt, Kevin Nowlan, Bill Sienkiewicz, Rick Bryant, Chris Miller, and Bart Sears. Also available is a $100 deluxe edition, limited to 100 copies, which includes a super deluxe presentation folio and a booklet on the project. I was like, okay, it's like just all sorts of wild stuff. And on the next page, it's got some artwork for Wonder Woman. And I mean, I'm going through this as quickly as I can. Where is it? And there's in one. It has a section called Coming Distractions. And here, oh, there it is. Look at what's in there. All you Dave Stevens fans. So I was like, did I just make this go up in value just by showing that? So I don't know. And it's like, and it's basically the checklist for everything. And it's Superman #1, introducing Metallo, the man with the Kryptonian heart. And that's in the DC section. And let's see. You got Robotech, the new generation. And of course, and you have that Airboy #5. And this is one of the sections I found. It's called B Movie Comics. B Movie presents #3, Tasma, the Congo Queen. Story art by Ken Holowitzky. I can't even say his name. Ken Holwizniski. It's like story and art. Also, Mark Panisi. I can't say these names. I just can't. But I actually looked up. Let's see if I can find it here. I actually looked up on League of Comic Geeks and found there were 4 issues of B Movie Presents. And the first one has like Captain Daring, and the second one is a world of X-Ray Cosmos. Was it Crimson Tears or I don't know what? And then Tasma, and then there's Matrix something or other. It's just wild, incredibly wild stuff. And I'm only at like page 17 in this book. And it's like, and there's, and of course the main feature of it, like for the cover, is the fact that they do a full overview of all the new universe titles. Yeah, let me see if I can find the front page of this. Come on, show it to me. I should have probably thought of it, but it's like Beyond the Edge of Your Imagination begins new universe tour. A talk with the creators about the imagination and machinations it took to pull off Marvel's boldest gambit of the decade by Patrick Daniel O'Neill. So like there's the front splash page for it. So look. And we all know what happened in New Universe. And I like some of it. But, it has a whole section on Starbrand and Night Mask. And, of course, there's Justice. And it talks about the White Event. I haven't read any of this in Spitfire and the Troubleshooters. And we know a certain person who did the cover art for one of those issues. We've got Kickers Incorporated. You've got DP7, Cyforce, and Merc as well. And then they do a bit of a wrap-up. And then they have an interview, and the next article is an interview with Peter David, and it is actually Adam Hughes doing the interview with Peter David. So that'll be interesting to read, and has, of course, all these little cartoons. and everything in it. So I find this very fascinating. It's very cool. Let's see. And it talks about, in the interview, they talk about, well, because they've connected it to Mark Hazard, because I believe it's Peter David doing that. And then I have an article by Jeff Schmidt called The Rip in Time. It's about dinosaurs and women, and also it's all sorts of. That's not a very long article. And there's something else. Oh, and there's an short article by I can't say it, Lou Mugen, the 10 best Golden Age revivals. And there's this. I gotta show this piece. Look at that. That's so wild. And comics in review, and it's still R.A. Jones doing these ones, and it's like, the reviewing. It's like #1 in an 8-issue limited series of Elektra Assassin by Epic Comics and Marvel. So, and I actually have that book, so I probably won't. I haven't actually read that book, so I'm not going to read that review until I've read the book. It's just all sorts of wild and weird stuff. There was something else. Oh, I wanted to show. Oh, and I love this. Like, of course, they have their own ex-thieves, aristocratic, extraterrestrial, time-traveling thieves, or ex-thieves. That is just wild. And then it has its letters column at the back called Amazing Readers, and the first letter is by someone called Dan Mishkin from East Lansing, Missouri, and it says Mike Mike's right, and it talks about the cover of Amazing Heroes number 97 reproduces exactly an idea that Keith Griffin and Dan Mishkin have been talking about doing, a Dark Knight parody featuring Batmite. And I don't know if there's also, let's see, a letter by Gary R. Jones. People will have to let me know if these are people in the industry or not. There's a person named Jim Jackson. There's Timothy Michaels, Mike Weiss from West Bloomfield. If you're out there, Mike, it's still George O'Leary. Of course, this is like so long ago now. That was from Ontario, Canada. I like that one. Tim Smith from Pasadena. Bill W. Miller from Waseca. Joe Weeb from Niagara on the Lake from Ontario, Canada. Another Ontario one. So it's like, it's just all sorts of wild, wild stuff in here. I want to keep this video too short, but I don't want to keep it too long. But let me know in the comments. And what I could always do is maybe if you want to hear the letter from, because I think Dan Mishkin. I think that's I can't remember. I think it's somebody. Somebody can let me know exactly. I don't my knowledge when it comes to creators in the comic book industry. If it's not the main people, I don't really know as well. So someone else can let me know in the comments what they think of that. And maybe I'll do a different video for Saturday and go through and read some of the best letters in a video. Just like the one from Timothy Michaels, from Somewhere Hidden, and offended by Kirby's remarks. So it's like, oh. So anyway, there you go. So let's leave that up so I can hopefully get it as the, what I'm doing. But yeah, that's Amazing Heroes number 101 from August 15th, and I believe it's 1986, I believe. Yeah, it says our cover, Star Brand, drawn by John Romita Jr. and Al Williamson, heralded the beginning of Marvel's new universe. Star Brand is copyright 1986 Marvel Comics Group. Okay, so that's 1986 Comics Group. So I don't know. I think it's still 1986 because they have artwork in here that says copyright 1986. It's like, the Zooniverse is here. Oh my god, I gotta show this. The Zooniverse is here. That's the inside cover. All right. Well, that's it for today. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of that. I'm going to do all the other ones as well, but I might actually read a little bit more before I do that. But I wanted to share that right away. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope you're having a great day. Bye for now.